1951.
Melvin was preparing for a Carnegie Hall debut, and I was a student at the same school here in Manhattan, and he needed someone to sort of rehearse the second piano part for the Liszt E-flat piano concerto. I had two pianos at home, and I volunteered to do it, and we've been playing two pianos ever since.
So we started the team that summer, and in the summer of '51 we began.
We spent the first 5 years of our lives, as Bobby Short would say, as saloon players. When we first started playing as a two-piano team, we were at the Ritz-Carlton in Atlantic City. And we were playing some silly little piece by Paul Dini called the Valse Poupée or something. And Melvin was so meticulous as a student, better than I in the beginning. And
Not at the end?
no. But what happened is, in this silly little piece, there was a forte and a mezzo piano and a this and such. And this was a transcription of that silly little piece. And Melvin was a stickler. So he said, I want to hear you play your part independently before we put it together. And I was sort of embellishing. I was making a little bit more. He said, you're not watching the piano. You're not watching the mezzo forte. You're not doing this and that. But I was embellishing with some chords, and I thought it made it even better than it was. And he said, you're not doing it correctly. I said, if you say that one more time, I'll tear this up. And he said, you're not doing it correctly. I tore the piece up, and we never had to play it again. We went from Atlantic City, and then we went to Dayton, Ohio for 10 weeks, and then we went to the Boca Raton Hotel and Club.
One of our great engagements was in Cleveland. We were told we were going to be playing in a magnificent restaurant, Cleveland's Best. And we were going to be booked there for 4 weeks. And we got to Cleveland, and the restaurant was beautiful in one part of the room. But we weren't playing in the restaurant. We were playing on top of a bar. And I had a big grand piano, and Norman, because I was the bigger of the two, he decided he would take the little spinet behind the piano.
And the only way I could see him was to look up at the mirror, and I could see when he was going to begin, and then we'd start playing.
I will never forget the feeling after practicing classical music our whole lives and so on, when they opened the bar and we had to go under all the bottles of liquor to get back up to the top of the bar. And we were young. I was a milk drinker.
We got a marvelous review from a fabulous critic there by the name of Windsor French. And he said that Stecher and Horowitz, they were teaching taste, technique, and style to the people of Cleveland. And we used that quote for 40 years on all our brochures. They didn't know it was from a bar.
And we dropped a lot of our leaflets in New York to managers and so on. And a manager, Kenny Allen, called us and he said, you know, I'm interested. I'm going to send Phil Pryor to Dayton to hear you. He'll be coming in tonight about 10 o'clock. He auditioned us after 1 o'clock in the morning. We finished playing. We played in the bar, Brahms, Chopin. And he said, if you guys will get a truck
and two pianos, you've got a tour next season. We didn't even drive.
We had no license.
And we got into the truck with two pianos, and our first date was Ada, Oklahoma. Melvin had never been in a truck in his life. And the greatest thing we learned was how to take two Steinway concert grands, take the covers off, turn them upside down, and put the legs on. And there wasn't a concert that Melvin and I played at that he didn't sit under the piano for the first 10 years and jimmy the pedals on, and I banged the legs in.
But we did play Uranium City, Canada, where we were traveling in the town by dog sled to and from the concert hall.
That's right. You know what you left out, though? You know, you skipped something that we waited 3 years to do. We were already.
That's right.
We played Radio City Music Hall. We were the first two-piano team to play the music hall. And we were there with the film Tonight We Sing, which
1953.
which was the life of Saul Hurok. And we were there for 84 performances and never saw the movie because we were always going around on a circle on the stage.
We only became what we are because of playing thousands of concerts. When the two of us started as a duo piano team at 19, we had 3,000 outlets available to us to play recitals. Out of the 3,000 towns, there are now 350 left.
So take me back to you finding the house on Maple Avenue, because it wasn't in very good shape. It was a pretty sad-looking thing, wasn't it?
We were having dinner with some people we knew. He was a builder, and it was Christmas time. And he just mentioned that he had a house on Maple Avenue that he was considering buying and tearing it down and putting up two because it was a double lot. And Mel had become ill on a previous tour, and we had decided that we would probably need a second career as opposed to just going on concert tour. And we thought we should open up a music school because we'd been involved with summer camps for many, many years. And we were always involved with teaching young people and encouraging young people.
We paid for the house that time, it was a third of an acre. And I think at the time we paid $10,500. And that's how it began.
Oh yeah. And
I want to ask about that. Maybe that takes you to my next question about the recitals, which were some of the most terrifying things for a lot of us. We had to memorize.
Oh yes.
We had to memorize, and we had to dress, and we had to rehearse. And I remember there'd be the rehearsal where you have to go in, practice your bow, and it was the two of you sitting there, and maybe your teacher was off to the side.
That's correct.
Pretty formal situation for 7-year-olds.
Sure.
Why was that so important to do it that way?
One learns a great deal from performance.
So the student population grew and grew. What was its peak? I mean,
500 students.
500
Annually.
Annually. I mean,
And a faculty of 25.
But don't forget, we did expand.
several times, a couple times.
No, but not only were we piano, we had every instrument of the orchestra and the voice department and classical guitar. So we had 25 faculty members.
The Pleasure of Your Company is a set of 5 books of original piano duets, beginning at an early grade level with Book 1 and advancing progressively through Books 2, 3, 4, and 5. Book 1.
Did you give any thought to saying, you know what, we've done well, we've been successful, why don't we retire?
No.
That never popped up in your mind?
Still doesn't.
Still does. Well, we're all grateful for that.
No.
So you close the school, okay, what's next?
Competitions are important for these young people to have the opportunity of playing. In addition to our flagship program, the New York International Piano Competition, the Stecher and Horowitz Foundation assists young pianists at a strategic time in their musical development. We are committed to help all our contestants achieve their personal and professional goals through mentoring, through career guidance, artistic development, and performance opportunities throughout the year on the Young Artists Series.
Welcome to the greater Stecher and Horowitz musical family. We salute you, we celebrate you, and we can't wait to hear you play.
Although it is time to conclude and move on, we will not let you go. We feel that we have captured your personalities, your idiosyncrasies, your talent, and your dedication. We hope that you have captured our hearts and our devotion so that you will reach out to us at any time. The Stecher and Horowitz Foundation will always be there for you, and we, in turn, hope that you will do the same for us. Let the world be open to your talent and ambition. Fly high, soar beyond what you imagine to be your limitations. Use your imagination and experiment with new as well as traditional repertoire. The audiences are constantly awaiting new concepts, exciting talent, and artists who can communicate. You have and can always be certain that our blessings and support will be with you at all times.
In our eyes, you are all winners, and there isn't one contestant that doesn't have something so very special.